Finger off the trigger. How did that feel?
Pretty good.
Excellent. Okay, let's see it again. Good trigger discipline. Trigger off.
Your radio listener, that looks like a 4-year-old clip. They're having to find it, so I'll play it later and put it together with you talking about it on the Nightly News. But describe this clip.
It's the embodiment, it's the personification of the neutering of what it means to be a man. So this guy goes and shoots an M4 at the range, and he has this catastrophic, nearly traumatic event while he's trying to shoot an M4. It's 223. This is what I let like my 10-year-olds shoot.
Video of a 5-year-old or 6-year-old shooting.
It's just a little bit bigger than a 20.
There's no kick.
No kick at all.
Not if you push it in your shoulder.
Nothing. So he shoots this gun a couple of times, and he's like, the concussion, the gases, the smell of it all. It was so overwhelming. I had post-traumatic stress for hours after it.
He's trying to create a phobia. So people don't do it. I mean, I'm not the super soldier, but I sit there and fire 100 rounds with a 50 cal handheld.
Effortlessly.
And then these guys are like, can't shoot a 223.
But I don't know if they've been like actually emasculated or if they're just trying to demonstrate to the world how weak Americans are. I mean, it seems like it's intentional. He's like, no. It's not cool to go and work hard and to go train and go shoot. It's better just to be like the biggest sissy on the planet that can't even shoot a 223 because it hurts my shoulder and the gases and seeing the brass fly out. It's traumatizing. I can't take it.
Well, that's like these social justice warriors that see the chalk on the ground and start freaking out and convulsing.
But not everybody's like that. What should the country do about gun owners or gun buyers who shouldn't have the guns?
Tough question.
The sheer firepower of those kind of weapons is absolutely awesome. My ears are still ringing and we had serious sound protection. It's a very dangerous weapon in the wrong hands, as Frank said, and keeping it out of the wrong hands is the challenge.
I mean, we have these incredibly domesticated morons at the New York Daily News just ninnying around, and then it doesn't show him even shoot on the video. It's just crazy. Yeah, what about guns in the wrong hands of a tyrannical government? What about that? By the way, as I mentioned earlier, we are running a special, 15% off the Tim Kennedy special on InfoWars Life products like Brain Force, Super Male Vitality, and, of course, Secret 12, methylcobalamin, vitamin B12. And, folks, you can look at the studies on vitamin B12. Most people absorb almost none of it in their gut. If you do, it's 3, 4, 5% if you're lucky. Under the tongue, you can get a lot more. Still not as good as injectable. But what this is the injectable, level quality methylcobalamin that you put under your tongue with a dripper, and then you absorb a lot more than you would just taking it into your stomach. Now, again, consult your physician before you take vitamin B12 organic under your tongue because it's so dangerous. And before you go outside or breathe air, it does say that on the bottle. But this is the same stuff that you get from a doctor that costs you $50, because I've done it, that you inject into your fat. And it gives you a lot of energy, and it's totally healthy. I've gone out and done it just to test and see. And quite frankly, the injectable methylcobalamin has a better effect than this under the tongue. Taking pills, I don't even feel it, doesn't even do anything. Injecting it, whoa. You got to get a prescription for that. And I hate needles, but I do inject vitamin B12 a few days a week when I have the prescription. But it's the methylcobalamin, the same stuff. It's like, this is sweet. Does this have sugar in it? No. That's how vitamin B12 tastes. Most of the stuff they have at the store is synthetic. It doesn't even get absorbed, period. It's totally fake, but the government lets them sell it. This is true, organic, vegan-derived methylcobalamin with another type of B12 that makes it absorb. 20% is the, forget how you pronounce it, acetylcobalamin or whatever. The scientists have all explained it to me. All I know is I get a major, I don't give this to the kids in the afternoon or at night. Kids during the winter or whatever, or I want them to be healthy every day. Secret 12 in the morning. And it doesn't have caffeine or stimulants. The way my dad describes it is that it's, and he's a chemist and retired doctor, and he used to develop drugs for pharmaceutical companies, is that it's the precursor basically of everything. Vitamin B12 they think is like the precursor of everything else. You've got to have it to develop your hormones, to build just everything. And there's some other things that are precursors too, like water, oxygen, iodine. Iodine's the good halogen. All the others are bad. Your body will use the bad ones, the chlorine, the fluoride, the bromine, all the rest of it, unless you have the good halogen, and that is, of course, Secret 12. That is, of course, the good halogen, X2, Nascent iodine. You've got to have these in your body. You've absolutely got to have them. And just like we got to have freedom. And when you buy them at InfoWarsLife.com, you get the very best products that the absolute nutraceutical supplement freaks come up with. I mean, the soup Nazis love us. To use the Seinfeld joke. I don't mean literal Nazis, folks. I mean, you know, the guy that makes the very best soup is totally neurotic about it. He's called a soup Nazi. And now you call somebody that, you know, makes the very best Italian food. You know, this place is like a, you know, or Nazis about it being the best or whatever. That means totally obsessed, neurotic about the very best, highest, cleanest quality. It's not a good connotation, though, for Nazis, but you know what I mean. The neurotic, third-party nutraceutical review sites just love us. They're like, why is this right-wing lunatic having the best stuff? Because we're not right-wing lunatics. We just want, we're against the geoengineering. We're against the leaking nuclear reactors. We're against the glyphosates. We're against the GMO. We've done the research. We know there's a lot of research that, quote, leftists have done that's real stuff. That's why we are confused that you're anti-gun when the statistics show you should be pro-gun. Or why you like Hillary when she's a fascist warmonger. But again, those are pop liberals on the ground that are the super dumb social justice warriors. I know there's real liberals, a la, you know, the 60s or 70s that had some good points and were against the wars and against discrimination and really were against racism. But all of that's been hijacked, and Madison Avenue and Wall Street have taken control of it and turned it into political weapons to get us all at each other's throats. That's what I'm getting at. I'm not plugging here. I'm just going off into the generalities of it isn't about liberal or conservative, but people communicate with those terms. So yes, the modern liberal is a very anti-liberal, anti-free speech, anti-American weirdo group who I see as very threatening and bizarre, and who don't even care about their own interests and are allied with Orthodox, which we call radical Islam. And so all I'm saying is I don't go to an art opening so I feel like I'm an intellectual to sit around and listen to myself talk to other trendies. I go to an art opening if I like who the artist is because I want to buy some of the art. See, I don't like culture and theater and things like that because I'm trying to act like I'm cultured. I'm a barbarian goblin. But I also love culture and art because I've got those areas in my life. I'm multifaceted. I'm not a stereotype, and neither should you be. See, Willie Nelson loved me, boy, when I used to bash Bush. And he doesn't dislike me now. He tells me that he's coming. But that's an example of how perspectives work. I was against Bush because of warrantless surveillance and invading the wrong country and covering up 9/11 and being for the assault weapons ban. And I criticized him for all that. And liberals, whether it was Martin Sheen or whether it was Willie Nelson, they didn't care as long as I was bashing Bush. And I'd sit there and I'd have dinner with them and I'd say, I'm not a liberal. And they go, well, I know I'm not either. I like organic milk and I think vaccines are bad and GMO's bad. And we go out and go shooting out there. But then as soon as Obama comes in, it's like, why are you being so mean to Obama? And I'm like, well, meet the new boss, same as the old boss, you know? But because he's, quote, a liberal and because he's, quote, black, he gets all this political cover. We're in deep trouble. And now, finally, even the head of the Green Party's come out and said that, wow, Obama was worse than Bush, and so is Jonathan Turley and everybody else, because it's beyond that. These are just front people to get their agenda through. And so if Donald Trump gets in and starts doing a bunch of bad stuff and doesn't, look, if he isn't just out to get the country and turns the economy on and doesn't screw people over, if he doesn't get a whole bunch of stuff done, other than that, I'll be happy. I don't even expect purity or something to be perfect. I just don't want foaming at the mouth globalists that are completely out to get us on every front. That's what I'm getting at. Now, before I go any further here, this is a big deal, and I'm going to shoot a special report about this for the Nightly News tonight. I'm also going to shoot one for the show tomorrow. because I didn't get to this enough, but I want to tailor this because this needs a lot of added research and data. Hacker releases secret Clinton docs from the State Department DNC Trump opposition file donor list. This is very interesting to see who's doing what, and very, very powerful info. We're also going to be getting into more of the wonders of Islam as the Taliban uses honey trap boys to kill Afghan police. When I talk about homosexuality being the highest in Islam, and pedophilia for that matter, I see comments going, Jones is crazy. They kill gays. No, I'm not the one that's crazy. They are. They're the ones. I had the former head of the State Department psych warfare on that got the Camp David Accords on saying this yesterday, okay? I already knew this. Everybody knows this that's researched it. But the public is so ignorant, they think I'm just talking Martian here. That's what I'm saying. Homosexuality is off the charts in Islam. Look it up. Pedophilia is basically legal. But then if the imams or others in the Islamic group want to say that you are involved in homosexuality from a biblical perspective, then they can kill you. It's have your cake, eat it too. Okay? And that's what's going on, and it's a freak show. And as I said 1,000 times, I'm not sitting here taking the blame for these mass shootings that jihadists are doing. I don't care what Hillary and Obama and everybody else sits there and does. It's just not happening. I'm done. Just like political correctness. I do not dislike people for what color they are. I dislike people for how they act and how they behave, including myself sometimes. But I'm just done. I'm 42 years old, and I was not brought up to be racist or hate anybody. In fact, I was brought up to put up with too much crap. And I'm not doing it. So, and just everybody else out there, I suggest you just reject political correctness even more. And I think that's what Donald Trump is a manifestation of. So I salute Donald Trump. Leanne McAdoo is doing the nightly news this evening, I'm told. Coming up in the next hour, we're going to have one of our other anchors coming in, but I'm going to do 5 more minutes. Some stations don't carry it. Infowars.com/show. Don't forget, we got the 15% off Tim Kennedy special and InfoWarsLive.com. We are back live. Rob Dew is coming up to take over in the next segment. You got the Democrats with Democrats end gun control filibuster for 15 hours. You got that going on. Why it's time to repeal the Second Amendment. Rolling Stone. I got like 100 articles I haven't covered, but I just can't get over them openly calling to repeal it. I mean, they keep promising they don't want our guns. Drudge, the DHS secretary, give up your guns first. You go first, brah. FBI, U.S. homicide rate at 50-year low. Yep, that's true. Homicide rate's at the 50-year low, but believe me, people all over the country, when their kids are swimming, are looking for alligators right now because it's rare, it's scary, and it gets your instincts, you see. And having somebody come and shoot you, having a human come kill you, that's in our instincts too. We're afraid of it. That's why you can have like a cat in your house and have one of those fake plastic snakes and throw it down, and that cat will jump 3 feet in the air and get back in an attack position. And your cat may have never seen a snake its whole life. It's got instinct, and they're just punching our buttons all day long. And so am I. I'm coming in here with my own instincts that we're being overrun with tyranny. We're seeing all sorts of evil be shut up, and I am here ringing the alarm saying, you ought to be scared of tyranny. Democide in the last 100 years killed over 200 million people, and that's death by government. That's non-military deaths. 262 million? That number's like a decade old. University of Hawaii in Honolulu. Man. But I tell you, I'm also going to have a message to Donald Trump today. Donald Trump to talk with NRA about denying Second Amendment to people on terror watch list. And you read his tweet. I don't know exactly what to make of it because he sounds like he's going to talk to them about doing that. And that just denies due process and is very, very dangerous. So this will be the first time I've got a real issue with Donald Trump other than him not understanding or not getting or not fully comprehending or maybe being wrong on the whole Apple thing. Hey, give the FBI the code. They've got a warrant. Yeah, I get it. Give them the code. They've got a warrant to the San Bernardino shooter. That makes sense, doesn't it? Except there isn't one code. It's the keys to everybody's iPhone. And they could get through it. They don't need to say they're getting through that encryption. You get through it with the wire that goes in, and you can get into that in a few minutes with any good hacker. You know, the plug-in to give it power. That's an electronic interface with the phone. And you've got all the apps. Most of them have Trojan horses built in. You just call the company's administrators. They'll give it to you. And the FBI has all that. It was all a red herring. It was all bull. But do I throw Donald Trump out because of that? No. He's killing political